Hey everybody, this is just a quick video to show you through our Unit 2, which is all about poetry. So we've got 3 weeks for this unit, and I'll go over week 3 here for you first. So big things here, make sure you're reading the essay instructions, like make sure you know, what's expected, because the essay instructions are very closely linked to the rubric that I use to grade. There is also a link about how to read a poem, and this document here that says poems, that is all of the readings. That's your poems for this unit. So what we're going to do for this unit is this week is really about, learning how to read poetry and reading it. And then we get more into the analytical stuff in the coming weeks. But for this first week, we just really want to dive into the poems themselves. Make sure you do watch that reading poetry video. That's one that I have made for you that is going to give you a little bit of a strategy for this, because I know a lot of people kind of, you get assigned to read a poem and you're like, all right, well, I read it once, what do I do? I always found that kind of confusing when I would get assigned poetry. So that's to kind of just help you get started reading poetry and give you a way to do it that's more systematic than just like looking at it, because reading poetry is different than anything else. So just make sure the big thing with online classes is just make sure that you know what's up, like you've read all the instructions and you've clicked on the stuff and you kind of know what's going on. Thing is, if you start skipping stuff, it's like at some point you're gonna accidentally skip something that was pretty crucial. So I know sometimes it can be a lot. That's why I try to give it in this to-do list where it's like bullet points. But yeah, just make sure you know what's going on in each unit. And that will be probably the best thing you can do to set yourself up for success in this class, is just make sure you're looking at everything. So that's what you need to do this week. I went ahead and put the instructions for the essay here, just so while you read the poems for this week, you can get it in your head, like kind of what your end goal is, but you don't need to start writing your essay this week. So for week 4, the big thing is that you are going to work on your poetry analysis worksheet. You're also going to look at some essay structure stuff down here, so about thesis statements, paragraph development, that kind of thing. So again, I didn't make you guys get the textbook because I don't like textbooks, but so these links kind of take the place of the textbook for actually learning how to set up your essay. So make sure you're looking through those and you understand kind of what's expected for a thesis statement, how paragraphs should be set up, how you should use evidence from the text, and transitions and summary versus analysis, all that. So next week, or in week 4, we really get into thinking about like prepping for the essay. So week 3 is about reading the poems, and then week 4 is about prepping for the essay. This poetry analysis worksheet is going to give you an opportunity to kind of pre-write or analyze your poem, the poem that you choose for your essay, take some notes about it. So what you're going to do, you're going to select one of the poems from this document, and I do ask you to pick a poem from this document, just so we're writing about all the same stuff. I have had people kind of just choose their own poem from wherever. Please don't do that. The purpose here is kind of for us to all look at the same things, and you'll find that it works better with the discussion boards, like if we're writing about the same group of poems, at least, that you can bounce ideas, you can see what other people have written and kind of get more ideas and stuff. So when you write your essay, big thing, please do choose one of the poems from the poems document as your the basis for your essay. Then after you've chosen which poem that you want to write about, you just fill out this worksheet, and you can do, it's not too super long. Again, it's designed to help you work on your essay. And there's several different ways that you can do this. So if you are into it. You can, if you're old school kind of, you can print this out and fill it out. I will say if you print it out, you might need to put some extra spaces in here, or you could, so you could print it out. That would be one thing, or you could just look at the worksheet on online here and fill it out on paper and then turn it in like that. But probably the best way to do this worksheet is to download it, or and fill it out using Word, that it's already like that's already the format it's in. Or you can just like select all this and copy paste it into a document of your choosing. So if you prefer to work with Google Docs, that's fine. Or you can use your Northeast State Word account. Just paste this in, and bonus points. If you download it and you select all of this, right? And when you paste, you hit Control-Shift-V instead of just Control-V. It'll keep the same formatting, so it won't like mess up the formatting. So don't spend a lot of time worrying about your formatting here. Again, Control-Shift-V will keep the source formatting, but if you don't mess with it too much. As long as you're answering the questions, I'm good. And then you'll submit that over here in assignments, and it is due on the 19th, so you just submit it there. If you have any trouble with that, just let me know. We do have a worksheet for all of the major literary units. So we have a poetry worksheet, we have a short story worksheet, we have a drama worksheet. I used to be kind of like snobby about not doing worksheets, but I find these to be really helpful for just brainstorming for your essay and making sure you're thinking good analytical thoughts and you're getting some notes taken. So that's what week 4 is all about. Week 5, you're just going to write your paper. That's going to be the main thing. So really, that's the only thing you got going on for week 5 is to write your paper. So that's what you're going to do for week 3, or for unit 2. So week 3, read some poetry, read about reading poetry. Week 4, pick which poem you want to write about, and start kind of brainstorming for your essay using the worksheet and these essay structure links. And then week 5, you write it. And I find that it's a pretty good spacing. So if you have any questions as you go, just let me know. I hope you guys have a great week.